Hey, anybody that's teaching that the mark of the beast is not the microchip, Satan is working with you heavy. Real talk. 33rd verse. When they heard that, they were cut to the heart and took counsel to slay them. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel. Now, we don't know if this is the same Gamaliel that taught the Apostle Paul. It doesn't tell you that. But if this was the same Gamaliel that had raised up and taught the Apostle Paul, well, this man knew the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and he passed it on to the Apostle Paul. That's if this is the same guy. But this guy right here, Gamaliel, it said he was a Pharisee. Now, a lot of you simple-minded, bird-brained Negroes, you say that, them guys are Pharisees. Like Pharisees are wicked. Pharisees are not necessarily wicked. You had Pharisees, and you had righteous Pharisees, and you had wicked Pharisees. You had Pharisees that followed Yahawashi. So you should do your research. The word Pharisee is not synonymous with being wicked. A Pharisee, as a matter of fact, there's no Pharisees today. The Pharisees were done away with. So how can somebody be a Pharisee? A Pharisee is a sect that seems to have started after the Jewish exile. In addition to the Old Testament books, the Pharisees recognized in oral tradition a standard of belief and life. They sought for distinction and praise by outward observances of external rites and by outlawed forms of piety and such as ceremonial washings, fastings, prayers, and alms, which are all scriptural. So these guys were following the law, but they were doing it in more of a regimented way. See, when Yahawashi went into the law, he broke down the law in a spiritual sense. It says, comparatively negligent of genuine piety, they prided themselves on their fancy good works. They held strenuously to a belief in the existence of good and evil angels and to the expectation of a Messiah. So they knew that the Messiah was coming. So this was a certain group that they believed in tradition, but they used the scriptures. So you had righteous Pharisees and you had wicked Pharisees. Okay, so this man, Gamaliel, was a righteous Pharisee. It says a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. So this man, Gamaliel, was a well-respected man, so they listened to him. So when these wicked scribes and Pharisees beat the apostles and told them not to use their name, he came in and spoke for them. It says, and said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourself what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theodus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined himself and who was slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. So we got this today. You got these different guys. They watched our videos on YouTube. Like if we never went on YouTube, let's say none of the former one Westers, I'll say. Let's say we never went on YouTube. This Hebrew Israelite thing wouldn't be out there on fire like it is right now. Because these other Israelite groups, they were bringing in that weak shit. That basic, weak, the white man is Japheth bullshit. The controversy really started. I'm going to tell you when the controversy of these, of the Israelite, of the pushing of the Hebrew Israelite thing on YouTube started. It was started with Greatmillstone. That's when the fire got started, man. Because like I said, IUIC, well, that wouldn't even call IUIC, but Nate was on YouTube a year before us. GOCC, which I don't even think what they would call GOCC. Maybe they were. They were on there a year before we were, but they had little videos here and there. When we came on YouTube, we basically blew up the spot. You know, we made ourselves known by putting up countless videos and everybody flocking to us. And then you had guys that watched us and joined with us and joined IUIC and joined GOCC and joined ISUPK and joined House of Israel, and all these other groups started in House of Israel, which was Zabak. He was one of the first two that was on YouTube as well. He was one of the first on there. That was going back to Bun Lawyer, which we were speaking about Bun Lawyer last night. That's the brother that's in the spirit realm, spirit world. So really, that fire really started from men that were formerly a part of One West. And then you had ICGJC, which is led by Tazadakia and High Priest Arian and High Priest Shaw. And basically Tazadakia really did videos to come against us because we were deemed as being the rebels. But now when you go to YouTube and you're dealing with Israelite videos, my name is definitely going to pop up. GMS is going to pop up. And the rest of those crews that I spoke about, those groups that I spoke about, their names are going to pop up. But we are the most controversial group out there because of the scriptures that we bring out. And then mainly, and this keeps coming up, it comes up and it dies down, it comes up and it dies down. The whole mark of the beast being a microchip, which the mark of the beast is the microchip. It says, after this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing. Now the reason why, when you read the history of when the Romans besieged Jerusalem and looted the temple, the abomination that maketh desolate, what they were getting was they were getting their money. They were getting their gold, their silver, their relics. And the reason why they did that, because Jake didn't want to pay the Romans tax, because they would tax him, then they would tax him some more. Then it was like a graduated tax. They kept taxing him on shit.